Hello, and thank you for tuning in. You are tuned in to The Encourager, and my name is Nehru. Thank you so much for tuning in to all returning listeners, subscribers, and new listeners. If you are here for the first time, welcome in. You are part of a group that is after being our highest, purest, truest self. And those who are drawn to this channel understand that can only be done through, the first step is recognizing who we are, and the lie or fog that is the matrix, that is religion, that we have been held under for centuries now. And so we are on the verge of all of that collapsing, as if you can't tell, all around the world. This is not a call to the second coming of Christ or anything like that. If you do not understand who you are and know that you are the second coming of Christ, then there's more to learn. So let's take a look at what we're talking about here, and it goes right along with what I'm saying as far as you being the second coming of Christ, meaning that was in him, and that ascended master that raised him up. See, the death is not what did anything. The death didn't do anything, okay, except create karma for the individuals who are responsible for it, right? Other than that, it did nothing other than provide an opportunity for Most High to show out, okay? Because the consummation or the redemption power came through the resurrection, not the death. The death was a physical thing that had to happen in order for the spiritual thing to happen, okay? Because man would not believe in a risen Savior if they did not see one physically and he live and walk among them. Man, even today, man would not believe that probably, even though, even in the Bible that we read that is a lot of garbage, even in there we're told that we are not him, but we are just like him, right? Which is like a twin, like a duplicate, okay? Because even if you make a copy of a page, it's still not an exact copy, because it is a copy, right? The name alone, right? The designation alone says that it's not the original, okay? So you'll find little specks and stuff like that on pieces of paper that you made a copy of that are not on, you cannot see on the original, right? So even though it's that close to being identical, you have to look really, really close. That's how close you and I, and even closer we are to being the divine creator that Most High is, okay? And again, that is within us. When we awaken ourselves, go through a spiritual awakening, no matter what degree, and then within that spiritual awakening, you go through various ascensions, and so throughout our life, we have to go through these things because we have separated ourselves from Most High, okay, and separated ourselves in our actions just merely by being birthed into this natural place. There is separation between holiness, okay, and that's WHOL, okay, and HOL, okay. There develops a gap there once we're birthed into the natural, okay. And so we signed a contract in the spiritual before we're birthed here that we would come back here to take care of certain karmic issues, contracts, things that were left said undone, or left said undone. How does that go? Left unsaid and undone? maybe, I don't know. So we go through these processes, right? And, or lifetimes, I should say. And so through going through these lifetimes, we can begin to see how, over time with our various choices, if you just consider this life alone, you can see how much karma you may have garnered in one lifetime. So let's take a moment and think about this. This is why we're talking about karmic debt, okay, during this interaction, conversation, sharing time, what have you, okay? So think about it. In your lifetime, this lifetime, I want you to think about the relationships you knew you should not have. Let's start at the beginning. Okay, let's start childhood. What about all the times you cried, but you cried for nothing? You're just wanting attention. Okay? What about all those times your mother told you or your father told you not to take the cookie, not to take the brownie, not to go outside, and you did it? What about all the times you skipped out on class when you really should have been in class? Did you ever try to change a grade? Did you ever lie to a teacher about your homework? Did you ever call in sick on a job when you really weren't? Did you ever mistreat someone in order to get back just because in the moment you were feeling vengeful and you felt like it was worth it or it was just to do so? Ever looked at someone with an evil eye, like, I don't like you, I can't stand you, ew, why do you talk like that, ew, why do you dress like that, or you sorry, or you a punk, or, whatever, right? You dumb or ignorant or whatever, right? Calling people, demeaning people, right? You ever, any of those things, right? So you can see over time how we can accumulate karma. And that's just in one lifetime. You can see numerous opportunities to create karma. And so I don't know how many lifetimes Most High gives everyone else. Okay, but I know here on this planet I've had 10 lifetimes, and this is my 10th lifetime. Okay, and this is my final lifetime because I came back specifically to take care of karmic debt and clear my karmic bloodline. Okay, that's the reason why I came back this time around. So, yeah, and so with that, and to finally live the life that I was meant to live here, based on my royal bloodline. And so, yeah, it's definitely some spiritual something when lately, whenever I've started recording and my nose starts running. That's bizarre. It's literally 80 degrees outside. There's no need for my nose to be running. And so, but anyway, so yes, so coming back here, you too have come back here for specific purposes, reasons. You were birthed into the family that you were birthed into for a reason. I was birthed into the family that I was birthed to or given to for a reason. Okay, so it's not a fluke that the supposed sperm donor was a polygamous minister for 30-something years. It's not, and has 17 kids. It's not coincidence or anything like that I'm a Sagittarius and he's a Gemini, and the Sagittarius is opposite of Gemini, vice versa. That's my moon sign. I'm his moon sign. Like, can't make any of that up. And then all the karmic relationships, and then my own blunders and hiccups and mistakes and mischoices and missed opportunities and all that sort of thing, right? And when I say missed opportunities, I mean opportunities that were meant for me that I had to circle back around for, okay, spiritually. So nothing returns to the Father void, okay? So this is another reason why spiritual karma, or why karma exists, okay? Because there has to be a balance, okay? Just like there is good, there is evil, okay? Just like there is fire, there is water, okay? For everything, there is this thing, right? So for karma, the opposite of karma is dharma, right? That's good vibes, good energy, good things happening, right? That's good solar plexus, good confidence, good and clear sacral chakra, right? So your creativity's sparked and you're clear, you're happy, just in general, just living is happy, you're content, you're neither extremely over the top, over joyful, and you're neither depressed and suicidal. You are completely content. Okay? Confirmation with the horn honking. 11:21 when I look down at the timer. So when we're looking at our own lives and we're considering the karma that we have to clean up, okay? And we have to be 100% with ourselves. We have to be very honest with ourselves. You can't lie. First of all, you can't lie to yourself, because your spirit knows the truth. Your spirit knows exactly who you're meant to be, how you're meant to do it. Well, maybe not how you're meant to do it. Your spirit knows what your ultimate goal is. The path that you take, well, that may differ. That's why we live many lifetimes, okay, here on this planet and elsewhere. This is why, because again, nothing can return to him void. So all of these things, all of these principles, spiritual laws have been put in place to make sure that whatever Most High sends out gets accomplished. Okay? So nothing returns to him void. Okay? He created the opposite, or there is an opposite of him, and that is Lucifer, Jezebel, the Luciferians, demons, right? So on and so forth, right? Those who spend their time amongst those where they're screaming and gnashing of teeth, right? Those individuals. So, or those beings. So, when you need to clear up karmic debt, okay, there's a number of ways that you can do this. Okay, so some of the ways that I'm going to mention are ways that you can do, that are physical ways that you can do this. Some of these ways that I'm going to mention are spiritual ways, right? Internal ways, energetic ways, I'll say, that you can do this. Some ways are mental, right? Exercises and things that you can do to do this. So getting rid of karmic debt. Okay, so let's talk about. There's all types of karmic debt, right? But let's specifically talk about karmic debt pertaining just to your choices, because you are only accountable for and to yourself. Okay, you can't control anyone else and anything else. And so you being accountable for just your actions, again, think about for a moment the choices that you've made, let's say in relocation and occupation. Okay, relocation and occupation. Everybody talks about relationships, so I don't want to talk about relationship. Everybody talks about relationships. So let's talk about something different. All right, so occupation and locations that you've lived, okay? And I'll share with you one of each for me, okay? So, occupation, let's start with occupation. Okay, so, I'll start with a career overall. I'll just start with the career picture overall, okay? So, and this is after the military, right? Before the military, I worked from 16 to 20 at the same job. One of those jobs was in Altamont, movie theater, Altamont Springs, Florida. I say that like everyone knows where Altamont Springs is. Altamont Springs, Florida, movie theater. It was a General Cinema theater at the time. And then I enlisted into the military, and then after the military, so let's go after the military. So after the military, I get out of the military at 28. After the military, I was really kind of searching and looking for what I wanted to do, because first of all, I was happy to leave the military because I felt like I was leaving because the Father Most High was guiding me to, but I wasn't ecstatic about it. You know, it was what I knew it was what needed to be done, and I looked forward to the next chapter and being a part of the house that I was a part of for the next 20 years after that. But yeah, I love the military, so I wasn't overjoyed about it. However, after the military, okay, there were some career challenges, okay, and what I did not understand was Most High was telling me that he did not want me to be an employee. He wanted me to be an employer, especially after I went back to school and studied accounting, right? And so once I went back to school, it was really, really difficult for me to even keep a bookkeeping job, and they would let me go for bizarre reasons. It was really kind of strange, okay? But that was Most High telling me. It would be like, oh, well, this person decided, one of the excuses was this person decided they didn't want to let go of their duties as the bookkeeper, office manager, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Next company. Yeah, it was just some weird something one after the other, right? And so he was definitely saying, hey, look, you are meant to be free. You're meant, and I understand all of that completely today. I'm 100%, okay? And so that's so how did first of all, I had to recognize what life was trying to guide me towards. You know, I kept bumping into the wall because I kept trying to create another path, an employee path. And Most High was like, no, you don't, no, that's not the way you need to go. Okay. So for me, I cleared that up. One, yes, by going back to school, and two, by going into business for myself, right? 13 years ago, going into business for myself. And so, even through dialysis, 4.5 years of dialysis, which was I was very much self-employed back then with limited time to do much anything else other than treatments when I was on 3-day-a-week treatments. Once I went to 5-day-a-week treatments, I did much better, and I was able to do some consultative type of work. But still nothing full-time, of course, because, again, I didn't have that much time in a day. I had to do treatments in the morning and finish up and get to, and get to wherever I was going. So before that business closed or at whatever time the appointment happened to be. So let's see what else. Yeah. So I went into business for myself. I did become a W-2 employee briefly after the kidney transplant. And that was essentially to get me back on my feet because I knew I was leaving her. I knew I was getting a divorce. So, and I needed the money, you just needed the money anyway, just for stability's sake, right? And so, yeah, right. So that is what I did. I stepped out in faith, but that's always been my goal. Even after dialysis, I got the W-2 job. I had it for a year, maybe a little longer. And I was just like, yep, that's it. The opportunity came through one of their sister companies to to do some consultative work for them, and that was it. I was off and running. And so, ironically, I had just signed a lease on an office probably, I want to say like 2 months before I got that offer from them. So, yeah, it was just all lining up. Most High was just lining it all up like he always does, like he always has. And so, yeah, so that's my career one. So what's the next one? So the next one is, what did I say? I did occupation and... Oh, now I'm drawing a blank. Oh, location. Yes, thank you, Most High. And ancestors. So, yes, so location. So, I have definitely, I can't say I've lived in like locations like cities that I should not have been in. I can say I've lived with people that I should not have lived with. And so it would have been better for me to just stay in my car or keep the place that I had. Yeah. So the way that I fix that karma, the way that I take care of that karmic debt is I learned the lesson. The number one way to show that you have cleared up karmic debt is to not make the same choice over and over and over again. Okay, again, the same man or woman keeps showing up wearing the same skirt or pants until you learn the lesson. That is to say, the same lesson continues to show up wearing a different pair of pants and a different skirt because they look different, but they're there to teach you the same lesson until you learn the lesson. Okay, and so clearing up karmic debt is what frees not only you, but it is what frees your bloodline. It is what frees your children, whether born or not, even if they are. It frees them up. Even if they don't understand, it frees them up. Even if they don't know, it frees them up. Okay? And if they are communicative with you, 2222 on the clock. And so if they are communicative with you, then you will be able to, they will probably share that with you, right? That, hey, I noticed that such and such is maybe feeling strange, not coming around, maybe right? They start sharing things with you about relationships falling apart. That's because you're clearing karmic debt from your bloodline, okay? And you are freeing up them as well. So don't be surprised, okay? If spouses, again, sons, daughters, come to you with brothers, sisters, and they're like, you know something? Such and such and such and such. And all of a sudden they're sharing with you things that you never thought they would, or things that you always hoped they would, but never thought they would, or what have you, right? Because you're clearing up karmic bloodlines. Okay? And so what it does is it frees you. It frees the generations before you and the generations after you. Okay? Because your ancestors, they picked you to do the job that you're here to do. And that should be plural. They picked you to do the jobs that you're here to do. Okay? And so they have a great hope, just like your parents do, that when they send you out of the house or kick you out of the house, however it goes, right? When they send you off, their hope is that you will do your very best, go beyond where they went, that you will excel and become all that you desire to become, and that you love God, right? And you spread joy and cheer and not harm and death and, right, all that sort of thing, right? Every parent wants that for their child, okay? And so, spiritually speaking, the way that you can do that is by clearing up your karmic, or clearing up your, I'm assuming your bloodline's karmic, clearing up your bloodline, okay? And again, this can be done a number of different ways, okay? So you can speak to the individuals, okay? Hello, so-and-so and so-and-so, can we talk? This has been on my chest for, I don't know, whatever, 20 years now. And I just want to just share it with you and just clear the air, whatever, right? So you can do it through communication. And that's what I was speaking of earlier, about communicating with one another. So you can do it through that way, okay? You can also do it telepathically, okay? You can do it by sending messages telepathically through meditating. You can accomplish that, okay? By focusing, okay? If you are familiar with Reiki healing practices and distance healing, then yeah. And if you're not, you can certainly look those things up, okay? Another way that you can clear karmic debt is to simply ask for forgiveness. Ask forgiveness from those individuals that you have harmed, those individuals that were involved. Again, forgiveness, a reminder, forgiveness is for the forgiver. Forgiveness is not for the one who is being forgiven. Okay? It's for the one who's saying, I forgive you. That's who forgiveness is for. It's not for the one who's being forgiven. Okay? So, if you want to free yourself, give out some forgiveness. Okay? That's for someone. You want to free yourself, hand out forgiveness. Just like, you know what? I forgive you. You said that wrong thing about me. I forgive you. You said that thing about my husband. I forgive you. You said that about my wife. I forgive you. You said that about my kids. I forgive you. Your neighbor said this about, I forgive you. You want to clear up karmic debt? You want to put some gratitude points in your bucket? Send out some forgiveness and be truthful about it, obviously, because spirit, right? Universe knows sincerity and deceit. So, let's see. I was thinking of, so you could write, okay? So you can write down, right? You forgive this person, right? Maybe perhaps they're not physically with us anymore on this planet, right? But you can write them a letter. You could write the forgiveness, right, out. You could do that. And you could recite it. I mean, you can meditate, and as you're meditating, you can imagine yourself being forgiven by this person, asking forgiveness from this person, or letting them know that you forgive this person. However you go about attacking the karma, right? Which is essentially what you're doing, because you want to free yourself from the bondages of the 3D. What are the bondages of the 3D? Anything that runs through your orifices, generally, okay? So in your mouth, your ears, your eyes, your, yes, ladies, your vagina, and yes, men, your rectum, okay? Anything coming through those orifices, your nose, did I say your nose? I think so. All right, you need to pay attention to. Because, why? Because this is the way that you absorb things. This is how your chakras absorb what is around you. Okay? So, what's your sixth sense? Your sixth sense, to me, your sixth sense is your crown chakra. That's just me. Right? Or your third eye. To me, that's your sixth sense. It's not anything else. It's your intuition. Okay? Which is should be your first sense. So, yes. So the number of ways that we can go about clearing up karmic debt and what it can do for us. Okay, you can literally feel lighter once you know how you're thirsty, you're so thirsty, and then you finally get that drink of water and it's the right temperature, right? And it's just right where you need it to be. Right? And you feel that you can literally, it's like you can almost feel it going through the veins within your body. Like you can just feel it just cooling off your entire body as it flows through, right? That's what cleansing out your chakras does. I mean, that's what that does too. But that's what clearing out your karmic debt does. It frees up the positions around you, places around you, portals around you to be filled with what Most High has designed for you specifically, rather than all the garbage that everybody else continues to dump out. I know I'm not going through the neighborhood picking up everybody else's trash, bringing it to my house. Okay? But that's what we do socially. That's what we do with our families and with our spouses and with our kids and with our grandkids and with our occupations and people on at the occupations and so on and so forth, right? That's what we do with those things. We just allow them to collect into the places that they don't even belong. Been dragging them around for years. 31 on the clock. Okay? So, we're going to work on our chakras, but more specifically, okay, we are going to write down. Our angel number book always mentions writing down. So write down the things in your life that you see as karmic debt. And again, you have to be very transparent with yourself about this. Okay? And so, if I am going to write down a list, I've given a child for adoption before. So if I want to be honest with myself about this list, I need to be honest and write that down. Okay? And however it made me feel, however I feel about it now, I need to consider all of those things to determine whether or not there's karmic debt still there. Okay? And so, I don't know why I use that as an example. Maybe that's for someone who's... Maybe you need to forgive yourself for making that same decision. Or maybe you decide to abort the child and you need forgiveness for that. You need to forgive yourself for that. Whatever it happens to be, just know, first of all, that there is forgiveness. There's more than enough forgiveness. Okay? And if anything, if you need to clear up that karmic debt or what you believe is karmic debt in that situation, then I don't know. My answer to that, quite honestly, is I would cry out to Most High. And I would just be honest. This is how it's making me feel, and all your sobbing and all of whatever, anger, I don't know what you might feel. But no, I would just simply cry out through my tears, or pray out through my tears, right? This is how it's making me feel. I feel this because I believe a child is this, and this is why, but I did it because of this, and and this is how I feel. And then talk to your angels, talk to your archangels, if you know who they are. If you don't, it's okay. If you say hi, archangels, or talk to them, they will hear you, they will reply, they will respond. Okay? So, thank you so much for tuning in again, as always. And again, to our newest subscribers, thank you so much. And so I did, as I mentioned earlier during the angel number readings, I wanted to come on and share with you all about karmic debt, how you can go about releasing it, what it does when you do release it, okay? The tremendous benefits. So my daughters will benefit. I have no communication with them today. My daughters will benefit from my spiritual work, whether they realize that or not. My parents benefit from my spiritual work, whether they realize that or not. They may not realize it this lifetime, because I think both of them are karmic, but they will realize it in the next lifetime. They will see the benefits of the work that I've done. Your bloodline, they will see the benefits of the work that you've done. If they do not witness it this lifetime, right, in your turnaround, they will witness it, or will get to experience it in their next lifetime, should they have one. Okay? So, this is encouragement for me to know that my work doesn't go in, is not in vain. Okay? And it's encouragement for you to know that your work is not in vain. The enemy, yes, yep, sure, still at work, right? However, okay, we are greater, and most importantly, so is Most High, who has our back, right? Collective, He has our back. So, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, again, my name's Nehru. You've been tuned into The Encourager, and thank you so much for tuning in, and be encouraged.